The Nigerian women's basketball team has made their mark on the continent by winning a record-breaking fifth consecutive Afro-basketball title. This remarkable feat cements their status as the undisputed queens of African women's basketball. The Tigers defeated Mali 78-64 in the final, showcasing their exceptional skills and teamwork in the tournament. The team remained unbeaten in the tournament for nearly a decade, with 29 consecutive wins since 2015. This win guarantees the Tigers an automatic berth at the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup in Berlin, Germany, with Coach Rena's leadership being instrumental in the victory, making her the first female coach to win back-to-back titles with the national side. Join us on the program to explore on the Tigers' victory and more. I'm Mikaria Clinton. Welcome. Now with me in the studio for the conversation is Abdulrahman Ibn Muhammad. He's the former NTA International, former GM NTA International, former GM NTA Sports, and also he's a sports consultant. It's a pleasure to have you on Nigeria today.
Good to be here.
Also with us for this conversation is Campbell Morrison. He's the chairman, Kaduna State Basketball Association. He's also a former international basketball player. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me, Kara.
Now, I'll start with you, Abdulrahman. Talk to us. How does this win make you feel?
This win, apart from the fact that it cements a very, very important record for Nigeria and for the Tigers, a fifth consecutive championship, like you have said it, is so sweet. Seeing the manner in which it was achieved. I think it has never been this tough. The basketball aficionados, Cambo, would attest to this, because the challenges were much more, bigger than in previous years. Senegal, prior to the, ascent of the Tigers, the Senegalese, who, by the way, still hold the record of having won 11 titles as African women champions, the Senegalese had, been the team to beat. There have been other one-pitch winners here and there, but the Senegalese had been the team to beat. But once the Tigers came up, that is since the tournament in 2017, the Tigers have never looked back. And like you've stated now, Rene Wakama, the US-based Nigerian coach, has become the first woman ever to lead a team to back-to-back victories. So this, when you look at the entire situation, look at how emotion-laden the matches were. From the match against Mozambique, the Mozambicans gave the Tigers a very, very good run for their money. The Tigers won by only 5 points, right? 5 points. The Senegalese were no pushover, and for the first time, even in the finals, the Tigers found themselves down at the end of the first quarter. The challenges couldn't have been bigger than this. So it is a most satisfying win. The energy that they put in the third quarter, after having tied up the game at 41 points apiece in the second, by the end of the first half, really shows that they are not only a bunch of beauties, they're a bunch of skillful, hardworking, and patriotic Nigerians. So it is a most satisfying win.
So it's a combination of brain and beauty and, of course, resilience.
Sure, yeah.
So, Cambo, as a former international basketball player, what stood out for you in this championship?
Yeah, I want to say a very big thank you to one of my mentors, for a long time. I'm just meeting here after many times. Thank you, sir, and thank you for the great things you have done for me, and for me also.
Scambo, you've earned your place.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, I'm so glad that I'm alive seeing this happen. It's such an emotional win yesterday, again, and like he rightly said, I have to come after what he said, 29 unbeaten run, that's for 2017 till today. I mean, I'll just keep counting. Just keep. It doesn't happen usually in sports.
It's
At
not
least
common.
You should
It's
move,
not
you should
common
win
feat.
this, lose this. You can win the cup by losing some. So I'm so excited watching those girls come from most of the matches coming from behind and winning at the end. The Nigeria team do us.
Now, what does it tell about the resilience of this Nigerian spirit in these women?
You know, people like to spew out the word Nigerian spirit. Nigeria, they carry last.
Yes, so.
People may just say it for the sake of saying it. But in reality, the patriotic zeal of the Nigerian, when it dawns on you that the fact that 200 plus Nigerians are looking up to you and your colleagues to deliver, the feeling is just that you cannot fail. And once the structure is put right, you can even see even much more. The Falcons did it. We saw the hard way just a week or so ago. Now the Tigers have done it also in a hard way. Like they say, when the going gets tougher, it's the toughest that gets going. So when you put a Nigerian against the wall in a competitive spirit, you can bet the Nigerian will dig deeper, deeper, deeper. Never mind the fact that a school of thought seems to think that, well, 80 or 90% of the Nigerian players actually don't live in Nigeria. So what? Their parents have the Nigerian blood. They have the Nigerian blood.
Have the Nigerian blood.
They carry
It's
Nigerian. They carry
live.
Nigerian passports, and there's nothing wrong about you representing your country, even if you reside in another man's country. You see, the Nigerian spirit keeps pulling them. Let me give you a story of one Michelle Alozie. She's a footballer. She got into the Nigerian team and actually played a part in the team's victory last week. She was never in the Nigerian roster. What happened was that the Nigerian team had gone to the USA on a playing tour, and somehow not all the players had arrived at camp, and the coaches were just looking for anyone that is a Nigerian
Yes.
to make up the team, so that at least there can be the semblance of a complete team in training. And Michelle Alozie was approached, and she said, well, for heaven's sake, I wasn't even invited, but I'm going to give it a try. She did try, and to her surprise, the coach told her the next day, girl, you are in the team for our next match. You see, she never had any contact on ground with Nigeria, but the Nigerian blood in her. And this is what it goes. Reni Wakama and all the girls, Amy Okonko, and all of them. The exception being the fact that Murjanatu Musa was discovered while playing in a secondary school set up a developmental competition here. I think it was in 2012. She was playing for KB State, and the scouts from the States and their counterparts in Nigeria saw her, and she eventually shipped her out. She made the team 7 years ago, and she's now a three-peat African champion. So the Nigerian spirit is never say die.
Never say never, never say die. So, Skambo, of course, being there, you've been there before. You've been, in some of the competitions as a player yourself. The consistency with which they have won over the years, tell us, how easy does it come?
No, it doesn't come easy. It doesn't come easy because you have to keep placing and replacing. You have to keep, seeking for loyalty. Because whether you like it or not, disloyalty will definitely set in, and then players and their gangs up. So a lot of things will come and will come crumbling, that kind of a thing. But you need, an administrative setting that regardless of what wants to shape the theme, could still come in together. These girls didn't just start playing together yesterday. I mean, it was years before the 2017. It was years before them. But one thing I just like is that apart from the administrative setting, everybody knows that we have our basketball challenges in Nigeria. But the girls were able to put themselves together and say, you know what, this is for us. If we can't get the structure working the way we want it to work, I think we have to do it for ourselves. And it gives them a platform to showcase who they are. And today, everywhere in the world, Nigeria, just like you rightly said, the moment the ball is in your hand, the eye of the world turns to who you are, to see if you're going to do it well or not. The truth about it is that, you see, there were seasonal administrators before this particular administrator. So you don't just start winning laurels in sports just by a time. It must have come from somewhere. And that's exactly what he was talking about, the Murja girl. I only call her blessed. You know, I only call her blessed because nobody would have, you know, would have understood why or how between the day she started playing and where she is today. But there were certain persons, you know, who guided her. So our consistency is as a result of, I believe that one is that the team and everybody understood what she wanted to achieve.
Now we'll take a short break now. The conversation will continue after the break. Don't go away.
The implementation of the ruling is also dependent on another aspect or another arm of government.
Nowhere in the world will allow under digital economy for banks not to be dispensing domestic currency in that economy.
What will make this one different? We want to know what they do as occupation. All of these are attributes that our questions have been designed to investigate.
In a few days to come, you see that we are all around their own crannies and everywhere in Nigeria, telling people to cooperate.
Welcome to Nigeria Today.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is Nigeria Today. We're celebrating the Tigers for their victory yesterday. So I have with me two gentlemen here in the studio. Now, back to you, Abdurrahman. Tell us, what does this win mean to the development of basketball in Nigeria? Because everybody keeps talking about football, but here we have basketball.
Well, Scambo tried to paint the picture of a structure that has been put in place. Well, the coaches didn't just get up one day to select these girls. There must have been some kind of a monitoring apparatus. There must have been some connection between the administrators here in Nigeria and the people that are working for them over there in the USA to identify the Emir Concourse, the Promise Amara, okay, and the rest of them. So a structure is indeed very, very necessary. If you look back, we spoke about Murjanatu being discovered in about 2012. At that point in time, there was a board of the NBBF in place, which saw to the organization of that competition. There are one or two companies who gave the sponsorship, okay? There was a sitting sports minister. That is a structural base that was put in place for the discovery of young talents. And to the best of my knowledge, that structure is still in place. Never mind that the superstructure for the administration of Nigerian basketball from time to time, that is the NBBF, we do have one or two squabbles here and there. But at the time that they're required to come together and cooperate, they come in and deliver the goods. But can you imagine if there are no divergences, there are no distractions, they come together, we would even probably be achieving more. So my appeal is that the NBBF should put their acts together. They have done extremely very well from the days of the guy who was president before Musa Kida, Tijani Umar, TJ, now Musa Kida, and the rest of them who are surrounding them, Colonel Sam Amedu, Mr. Babs Ogunade, and the rest of them. Once they put their house in order and they cooperate, the sky would be the limit. The talents are there. And who knows how many Murjas are we going to get. Mark my word, Murjanatu from KB State, not Lagos, not Imo. You know?
No, we have the bulk of that.
So we do. That tells you that the talent is spread all over. Once the structure is in place and the scouts do their work, and of course the sports authorities, thank goodness the National Sports Commission is back, and from all indications, Shehu Diko and Olokpade are pulling the strings as well as they should. More foundation, much more solid foundations are being laid. the sky would be the limit. So long as we don't leave the track, there should be no distractions.
Now, Skamba, tell us how much of this win will inspire young women around the world, starting, of course, from the Kaduna State.
She used was mine to play, and my brother was the coach. And then I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of that. I don't know if it's okay to speak about what happened today, at the presidential villa, so that when you talk about inspiring, young girls.
Sure, why not?
Go ahead.
I look at it, as a big inspiration for people playing because, monies were not always found in sports like basketball. It's never talked about. We don't see anything. I heard that some parents already are telling their children, you either go play, you see that I think you should just go do you should just go do this. So, but you could just imagine, he made a very profound statement. We don't want to look at it, holistically, that all the girls came from somewhere outside Nigeria. But you could just imagine if 4 of those girls were Nigerian based and such an amount was given to them, what would have happened to their communities? You understand? What would have happened to their communities? And secondly, I want to put this on record. You see, Nigerian athletes are nationalizing in other countries. But count my word, you start seeing other countries start nationalizing to play for Nigeria.
For Nigeria.
I was
actually, a thrower, a female thrower in a Commonwealth country, I can't really recall, just last week, made the decision to transfer her allegiance to Nigeria. And she's a champion. So while some are going away, some are coming in. Yeah.
And you see, I'm going to tell you this, and mark my words again. This Olympics, these girls that just represented Nigeria, it's going to be difficult for some of them to make the team into the World Cup. You know why?
Why is that?
Because there are going to be more girls who are going to come out and say, we are Nigerians.
We are Nigerians.
Everybody's going to start bringing his name out. I'm not Nigerian. I'm not Nigerian. And I'm telling you, that's really, really going to happen. So it's going to be a big field and a big competition. It's going to be a big competition. And Nigeria is getting ready to compete in a global world just beyond Africa. We're not beginning to look beyond Africa. Because we feel that we're more than conquerors now. So we are beginning to see something very different.
Of course, we are more than conquerors.
For young girls now, I just know that everybody will say, wow, wow, wow. I think I want to start playing basketball because basketball is going to be one among the curriculums that's going to be in school.
So what does this mean for our image? Because right now he said a lot of girls will be coming out to say, okay, I'm a Nigerian. For people that, some of these girls before now have been like, they are kind of skeptical to say, but today, they'll come out to say.
Certainly it is a positive move. More people will want to identify with success. So like Scambo has stated, definitely more and more people will come out to say they are Nigerians because they know that when they excel, they will be duly recognized. There will be cash. There will be national honors, possible houses, and so on and so forth. In the past, previous governments have done what they, at that time, thought was the best. But there is a new thinking under this government. And a few people may have raised issues with the issue of work and reward across the board. And I'm sure the government is hearing this. They will probably work on that. But as far as sports is concerned, now every sportsman and woman knows that if I do well to represent Nigeria, we do well. There is something waiting for us. Those who worked in the past, Scambo's teammates, former Falcons players, and so on and so forth, some of them have come to cry out in the media, where we did this, we only received handshake and so on. That was a different dispensation. I sympathize with them, but I don't think the government can bend over backwards and do what other governments didn't do. This is the business of this government. The only thing I want to add is that the government should not only wait to reward people who have gone to excel, because a lot of these footballers and a lot of these basketballers ply their trade abroad, where there are facilities, there are no distractions. The American collegiate system, the professional system, there are no distractions. So the talent is given an opportunity to develop. We should try to replicate some of those facilities here in Nigeria, because it's not always that we'll have the opportunity of sending. Some of those who don't have the desire or the acumen to go for further education and they have the talent, what happens to them? So they have to be raised and developed at home. So apart from giving out appropriate rewards to those who excel, the government under this dispensation through the National Sports Commission should try to ensure that sports development is given a pride of place. Appropriate facilities should be provided, not only for football and now basketball, for other sports of comparative advantage, so that more and more talents can be, discovered. And developed. And before we end this program, I'd like to make this point. Mr. President did say when he was receiving the Falcons last week that he was actually made to sit down to watch against his wish because he didn't want to have his heart beating so fast. Okay, he watched that on a foreign channel, sports channel, not a Nigerian channel. This basketball was watched not on a Nigerian channel. Where am I driving to? The fact that Nigerian channels need to be empowered to be able to bid for rights, because Nigerians have a right to watch what our people do becoming African and world champions. I am making a case for the NTA to be supported. This is serious business, and serious business needs serious money. In some other countries, South Africa, they give support to SABC. Yeah. The Moroccans, the Arabs do it. Nigerians deserve to watch our teams perform on the national TV.
Thank you very much.
This should be please taken seriously.
Thank you very much. That's Gambo. Of course, Abdurrahman mentioned something very important, and I think you also should tell us a little bit of it as the chairman, Kaduna Basketball Association. He talked about some of the challenges that have been faced, talking about the facilities. Yeah. So tell us, what are some of the challenges, and what do you think should be done so that more of this talent will be discovered?
Sports is played in a facility. And sports people are discovered, sports people that will excel and go far are discovered early. And then they are also being watched. They're also being watched and also being supported. They're also being supported. The people which are called the coaches also will have to, attention needs to be paid to the coaches. The coaches need to know what are the latest or what is in vogue. You know, there are times we travel, the coach doesn't know that the rules have changed. A lot of times we concentrate on athletes, which is okay, but we don't always remember the coaches, that will train the athletes. So the coaches start teaching the athletes by the things which are already outdated. So I'm just asking, that apart from the facility, the human power again, or rather
the managers.
The managers must also,
because this is important. What Scambo is saying. You recall that a Nigerian athlete, transferred her allegiance to another country, citing cases of where she was denied an opportunity to run. This is because the people managing her were probably not informed. They were not up to date. And that's the point, I think.
Things have changed. So you have to change with the trend.
Yes,
go with the trend. And of course, we hope we'll start also receiving more wins from the Super Eagles and also our male team of the basketball.
Yeah, we
hope.
In 2 weeks we should be in Angola.
Because we're talking about the girls, the women. We also want to hear from the men.
We'll be participating in the Nations Cup, the same with the girls, in 2 weeks in Angola.
In basketball, that is.
Yes, sir. 2 weeks.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. And a very big thank you to Abdurrahman Ibn Muhammad, who's a former GM NTA International, former GM NTA Sports, and of course, sports consultant. Thank you so much for your time.
Welcome.
Coming on the program. And also thank you to Scambo Morrison, Chairman, Kaduna Basketball Association and former international basketball player. Thank you so much for coming.
I look forward to seeing you on the court one day.
And thank you for being part of the program. I'm your carrier, Clinton. Goodbye.